An 8-degree temperature drop in just 48 hours. That is what is heading for every single part of the United Kingdom right now. And if you live in Scotland, you need to hear what I am about to say, because by Friday morning, some of you will wake up to temperatures barely above -4 degrees Celsius. But here is the thing most people are missing. The cold is not the real danger this week. It is what comes before it. 40 consecutive days of rain in some areas, 60 millimeters falling in a single day across eastern Scotland, and rivers already at bursting point. Now imagine all of that standing water freezing solid overnight. That is the scenario we are tracking right now, and I'm going to walk you through it hour by hour, city by city, so you know exactly when it hits your area. Stay with me to the 3-minute 20 mark, because that is where I reveal which specific days will be the most dangerous for ice across the entire country. And if you make it to minute 5, I will show you what the models are saying about a potential polar plunge that could arrive in late February, something we have not seen at this scale in quite some time. But first, let me tell you what is happening right now, because tonight is already messy. As of 9 o'clock this Monday evening, a band of rain is sweeping into southern England. It is not heavy, not dramatic, just that grey, relentless drizzle that soaks everything and lifts nothing. If you are in Cornwall, Devon, Dorset, or Somerset, you already know exactly what I mean. Meanwhile, heavier rain is pushing across Northern Ireland and into Scotland. And here is the critical detail. None of this is falling as snow yet. The cold air has not arrived. That changes on Thursday for the far north, and by Friday, it changes for everyone. Now, let me take you through this day by day, because the timing matters enormously. Tuesday is going to be rough for Scotland. A persistent band of rain sets up across eastern Scotland starting from 9 in the morning, and it does not stop until midnight. We are talking 15 to 30 millimeters widely, but in the worst spots, 40 to 60 millimeters. That is on top of weeks of saturation. Aberdeen, Dundee, Edinburgh, if you are in these cities, be aware that surface water flooding is a real possibility through the afternoon and evening. There is a Met Office rain warning in place for the entire day. For the rest of England and Wales on Tuesday, it is a mixed picture. The East Midlands, East Anglia, and the South East will actually see some drier spells, so if you are in Norwich, Cambridge, or London, you might get a few hours of respite. But do not be fooled. Another band of rain is already building from the southwest and will reach South Wales and central southern England by lunchtime. Bristol, Cardiff, Southampton, you are in the firing line again. Temperatures on Tuesday will sit around 10 to 11 degrees Celsius in the south, which is actually around average or slightly above for early February. But across northeast Scotland, you are looking at 6 to 7 degrees with a biting wind off the North Sea, making it feel significantly colder. Now here is where it gets interesting. Do not skip past this part. By Tuesday evening, the wind starts to gain an easterly component. That is a subtle but hugely important shift. It means colder air from Scandinavia begins to creep towards the northeast of the United Kingdom. And by the end of Tuesday night, the highest routes across eastern Scotland will start seeing snow. We are talking above 300 to 400 meters initially, so the Cairngorms, the Grampians, the higher passes. But this is just the appetizer. Wednesday brings more of the same misery for most. Northern England stays consistently damp. Much of Scotland stays wet. Northern Ireland sees patchy rain, especially in the south. For the southern half of England, it is showers rather than persistent rain, with some gaps and even a few breaks in the cloud. But by Wednesday evening, Cornwall gets hit again with another band of wetter weather. Temperatures in the south hold around 10 to 12 degrees, still relatively mild. But in northeast Scotland, with that North Sea wind now fully established, it will feel bitter. And here is the key development. By the end of Wednesday, snow will be falling above 300 to 400 meters across eastern Scotland, 5 to 10 centimeters in places. If you are planning any travel on the A9, the A93, or any Highland routes, Wednesday night into Thursday is when you need to pay serious attention. Now here comes the twist I promised you. Thursday is the turning point for the entire country. A low-pressure system clears through, and behind it comes a northerly wind. This is the gate opening for genuinely cold Arctic air to flood southwards. In the north of Scotland, temperatures start dropping sharply. We are talking highs of just 1 or 2 degrees Celsius in some spots. The rain across southern England turns heavy again on Thursday, but in the north, something different is happening. The precipitation starts turning to snow at increasingly lower levels. This is not just a mountain event anymore. By Thursday evening, wintry showers are pushing into lowland Scotland, and this is the part I told you to wait for. Friday is the day everything changes. Scotland wakes up to a brutally cold morning. Temperatures near -3 to -4 degrees Celsius across the central belt. Glasgow, Edinburgh, Stirling, Perth, you will see frost thick on every surface. For the south of England, Friday morning starts cold too, with temperatures struggling to reach 4 or 5 degrees degrees during the afternoon. London, Birmingham, Manchester, Leeds, none of you will see double figures. Most of you will peak at 3 to 5 degrees at best. Wintry showers will be scattered across many areas through Friday, and for Scotland, some of these will bring snow to lower levels. But do not miss this next part, because Saturday is where the real danger kicks in. Saturday morning brings the harshest frost of the entire week. Overnight temperatures plummet across the board. If you are in the Scottish Highlands, we could be looking at -6 to -8 degrees Celsius. Across central and southern England, -2 to -3 is very plausible. And here is the critical safety issue. All of that rain from the previous 5 days, the puddles, the standing water on roads, the saturated pavements, every single bit of it freezes. The ice risk on Saturday morning is going to be severe in many areas. If you are over 45, if you have elderly neighbors, if you walk to the shops on Saturday morning, please take this seriously. Black ice will be widespread. Now, here is the unexpected good news within the cold. Saturday and Sunday will actually be beautiful days for many. Clear skies, bright sunshine, dry conditions. Yes, it will be bitterly cold, with maximum temperatures of just 4 to 5 degrees Celsius, even in the south. But after 6 weeks of relentless grey rain, some of you will finally see blue sky. So wrap up warm, get outside, enjoy it. Just watch your footing. Let me give you the city-by-city breakdown so you can plan your week. London, rain on and off Tuesday through Thursday. Temperatures dropping from 11 degrees on Tuesday to around 4 degrees by Friday. Saturday morning, frost likely with temperatures near -1 overnight. Dry and sunny but very cold through the weekend. Birmingham, similar pattern, wet through midweek. Temperatures falling sharply from Thursday. Friday highs around 3 to 4 degrees. Saturday morning potentially -2. Ice risk high on untreated surfaces. Manchester, rain persistent through Tuesday and Wednesday. The cold arrives Thursday evening. Friday will feel raw with a northerly wind. Highs of 3 degrees. Saturday morning -2 to -3. Wintry showers possible Friday into Saturday. Leeds, exposed to that North Sea wind component, Wednesday and Thursday will feel particularly unpleasant. Temperatures drop below average from Thursday onwards. Possible sleet or wet snow on Friday, especially on higher ground towards the Pennines. Edinburgh, the worst hit city this week, frankly. Heavy rain Tuesday and Wednesday with 40 to 60 millimeters possible. Snow above 400 meters from Wednesday night. By Friday, snow could reach city level in heavier showers. Saturday morning could see -4 to -5 degrees. Significant ice risk. Glasgow, very similar to Edinburgh, but slightly less rainfall early in the week. The cold hits hard from Friday. Highs of just 2 degrees. Saturday morning -3 to -4. Wintry showers through the weekend with some accumulations possible on higher ground nearby. Cardiff, rain heavy at times Tuesday and Wednesday. The cold arrives a little later here, Friday afternoon into evening. Weekend will be cold, but not as extreme as further north. Saturday morning around -1. Some sunshine on Saturday afternoon, Belfast. Damp through Tuesday and Wednesday. The transition to colder weather happens Thursday night into Friday. Weekend temperatures around 3 to 4 degrees. Frost likely Saturday and Sunday mornings. Now, I promised you at the start of this video that at minute 5, I would tell you about what the models are suggesting for late February. So here it is. The reason this cold spell only lasts 2 to 3 days is because the blocking pattern over Scandinavia, the one that has been trapping all this rain over the same areas for weeks, is finally breaking down. That is actually good news for the flooding situation because it means rain systems will move through faster instead of stalling. But here is the catch. The jet stream is repositioning further south than usual, and that opens the door for repeated incursions of cold Arctic air. The global forecast system, the European Centre model, and the Met Office model are all showing something remarkable for the second half of February. A battle between mild Atlantic air trying to push in from the south and cold polar air diving down from the north. Along that boundary is where we could see significant snowfall, particularly across northern England and Scotland. The global forecast system is even showing a potential polar plunge around day 16, putting the United Kingdom right into the deep freeze with upper air temperatures dropping to -8 to -10 degrees Celsius. If that verifies, and it is still a long way out, so treat it with caution, we could see widespread snow and the coldest spell since early January. What does this mean practically? It means the pattern is shifting. We are moving away from the relentless mild rain machine and into something more volatile. The second half of February looks like it will oscillate between cold, snowy spells and brief, milder interludes. For southern areas, it will mostly mean cold rain with the occasional marginal snow event. For northern areas, genuine winter weather with accumulating snow on the hills and mountains, and possibly to lower levels during the coldest pulses. This is not unusual for late February into early March. It is the classic transition period when winter and spring fight for dominance. But given how saturated the ground is, any freeze-thaw cycle is going to cause problems. And any significant snowfall on top of waterlogged ground could lead to rapid snowmelt flooding when the mild air returns. So here is what I need from you right now. Drop a comment below telling me where you are watching from. Your city, your town, your village. I will be doing localized forecasts through the week. And if I can see where the majority of you are based, I can tailor those updates to the areas that need them most. If you are in one of the flood-affected areas of southwest England, South Wales, or eastern Scotland, I especially want to hear from you because the ice risk this weekend, on top of all that standing water, is going to need very specific local guidance. Now, before you go, here is what is coming in the next video. I will be tracking the exact timing of that Arctic air arrival on Thursday and Friday, with updated model data showing which areas see snow and at what levels. I will also have the latest on whether that late February polar plunge is still on the cards, because if the models keep backing it, that could be the biggest winter weather event we have seen this season. Make sure you do not miss it. Now, let me put this cold spell into some perspective, because numbers without context do not mean much. Saturday's expected highs of 4 to 5 degrees Celsius in the south might not sound extreme, but remember, just 3 days earlier on Wednesday, we will be sitting at 10 to 12 degrees. That is a drop of nearly 8 degrees in roughly 48 hours. Your body notices that, your pipes notice that, your car battery notices that. If you have not already checked your antifreeze, do so before Thursday evening. If you have outdoor taps, lag them now. These are the practical things that save you a very expensive weekend. For gardeners, and I know many of you are already thinking about early spring planting, this frost will be sharp enough to kill anything tender that you have put out during the milder spells we have had recently. If you have been tempted by the 11 or 12 degree days to get ahead in the garden, cover everything vulnerable before Thursday night. And for drivers, let me be very specific. Friday morning rush hour across Scotland will be treacherous. Temperatures will still be dropping at 7 and 8 in the morning. Any road that was wet on Thursday night will be icy by dawn. The M8 between Glasgow and Edinburgh, the M90, the A9 north of Perth, all of these routes will need extreme caution. In England, Saturday morning is the bigger risk. The M1, M6, M62, any elevated section of motorway, any bridge, any overpass, these freeze first and they freeze hardest. Here is something else worth knowing. The Met Office will almost certainly issue ice warnings for Friday and Saturday. If they have not done so by the time you are watching this, they will soon. When those warnings come, take them seriously. After 6 weeks of wet weather, the amount of surface water available to freeze is far above normal. This is not your typical February frost. This is a frost landing on a landscape that has been completely waterlogged and that creates ice in places you would not normally expect it. Pavements, car parks, driveways, garden paths, anywhere water has been pooling, it will freeze. One final thing. This week is genuinely a week of two halves. Mild and wet through Wednesday, then a dramatic switch to cold and frosty from Thursday onwards. The most dangerous period for ice is Friday night into Saturday morning. Please check on elderly neighbours. Please allow extra time for travel. And please, if you found this useful, share it with someone who needs to know. The next 48 hours are going to